I remember the day I stood in front of my family, trembling under the weight of their laughter. Haunted architecture? My brother had howled, tears of mirth in his eyes. You're going to ruin our family name chasing shadows? My mother's voice followed, dripping with disdain. You're obsessed with ghosts, dear. It's unhealthy. They called me delusional, insane, and worse. Their ridicule echoed in my mind as I packed the last of my things. The shadows of doubt creeping around me like a shroud. Once, I had been a statistical census investigator, meticulous and precise. But after I was caught falsifying records, an act of desperation, a betrayal of my own ethics, I plunged headfirst into a new obsession. The unaccounted, the lost souls, the statistical ghosts that slipped through the cracks between surveys. The world had cast me out, but I found my calling among those hidden figures, the ones whose absence skewed reality like a broken compass. Years passed. I traveled to forgotten towns, each with its own haunting architecture, where I napped the feared and the unseen, uncovering truths that should have remained buried. My obsession transformed into a career. I became known as a pioneer, a renowned expert in numinous population tracking. The very phenomena my family had mocked me for now earned me accolades and respect. Yet the shadows haunted me still. When I finally returned home, it was under the weight of my hardened conviction. I had survived horrors that twisted my mind, but I had also wielded that darkness into a weapon of truth. They would see, they would finally understand. As I approached the familiar house, memories surged like an unwelcome tide. The peeling paint, the crooked fence, it all seemed to breathe, whispering secrets I had long tried to forget. I pushed the door open, the creak echoing like a specter. My family was gathered in the living room, their faces a mix of surprise and discomfort. "Look who it is," my father said, an edge of sarcasm lacing his tone. "The ghost hunter has come home." I smiled, but the warmth didn't reach my eyes. I'm not here for approval. I stepped further into the room, and a palpable tension hung in the air. I could see the flickering shadows dancing against the walls, the way they seemed to lean closer, as if drawn to my presence. "Then what are you here for?" my mother asked, crossing her arms. "You've made a fool of yourself enough. Haven't you?" I took a deep breath, the weight of the unspeakable pressing down on me. "I've come to show you what I found." Their laughter faded, replaced by a creeping unease. I pulled out a notebook filled with my research, the pages stained with ink and memories. "This is the Whisper Registry," I murmured, the sound of my voice stilling the room. A record of the lost, the untracked, the silent screams that haunt our reality. They exchanged glances, skepticism still burning in their eyes. "You really think you can prove your ridiculous theories?" my brother challenged. But I felt a shift, a crack in their disbelief. "Let me show you," I insisted, feeling the air thicken with anticipation. I opened the notebook to a page filled with names, each one a ghost tethered to our world by unseen threads. These are not just names. They are echoes, remnants of people who vanished. Their absence creating ripples in our existence. "Enough!" my father's voice boomed, but I pressed on, my heart racing. "If you don't believe me, I'll prove it." I reached for my phone and opened an app, a new tool I had developed, an interface designed to interact with the unseen. "Watch." As I activated the program, a chilling wind swept through the room. The lights flickered, shadows stretching like claws across the walls. My family froze, eyes wide as the temperature dropped. "What is happening?" My mother gasped, the color draining from her face. "Just like I warned," I whispered, my heart pounding in tandem with the flickering lights. "They're here!" The shadows coalesced, forming shapes that twisted and writhed in the dim light. Faces began to emerge, anguished, desperate, their mouths opening in silent screams. My family's laughter turned to horror, their skepticism shattered like glass. "Stop it! Make it stop!" my brother cried, backing away. "I can't," I replied, my voice steady despite the chaos. "These are the ones you mocked, the ones your disbelief drove into the darkness. They want to be seen." The shadows surged forward, engulfing my family in a vortex of despair. Their faces contorted in terror as they gasped for breath, the weight of their ridicule crashing down upon them. I stood rooted in place, a spectator to the reckoning that unfolded before me. "Please," my mother pleaded, her eyes wide with fear. "We were wrong. We believed you were sick. I could only watch as the consequences of their disbelief consumed them, the shadows tightening their grip." "You didn't believe in the unseen, not until it was too late," I murmured, feeling the weight of vindication settle around my shoulders like a dark crown. As my family succumbed to the horrors they had dismissed, I felt the bitter taste of triumph mixed with sorrow. They would never understand the truths I had unearthed, nor the cost of their dismissal. I turned away, leaving them to their fate, stepping back into the light of the world that now recognized my work. In the end, I had survived what they could not fathom. I was no longer the disgrace they had believed me to be. Instead, I carried the weight of the lost, a guardian of their stories. My family's laughter faded behind me, an echo of disbelief swallowed by the shadows. And as I walked away, I felt the lingering presence of the souls I had come to understand, a chilling reminder that truth, however dark, would always find its way to the surface.